All right, welcome to the 50th episode of the Revolutionary Code, where we bring the truth about how governmental politics actually works in every facet of human existence and how that affects our people, Black people here in America. I am your host, Brother Tamani, and one down out of Houston, Texas. I am the direct revolutionary product of one Cardinal and Bayou Chewy out of the Shrines of the Black Madonna, and the indirect revolutionary product of one Albert B. Clegg, African name Jaramogi Abebe Ajiman, the father of liberation theology and the founder of the Shrines of the Black Madonna. I am also the founder of the Black Gold Nation movement. My co-host, the National Director of Political Strategy and Implementation for the Black Gold Nation movement, and the chairman of LACE, Liberation Advocates for Community Empowerment, the intellectual gangster, corporate grassroots revolutionary, and master domino assassin from Shreveport, Louisiana, AKA The Boot, Brother Craig B. Lee. Brother Craig, how you doing this evening?
I am doing, in the words of Bob Marley and Peter Tosh, Irie.
Okay.
I'm doing Black and 100 as we approach this 50th episode of the Revolution.
That's right, baby. We made it. So before we get into the show this evening, please give me a minute to tell you a little bit about the Black Gold Nation movement. Our ultimate goal is to put ourselves, Black people, in a position by which we can own and or control the environment where we live. Because we've come to the conclusion, history has proven that when we allow other people to control our space, we lose. When we allow other people to control any system, any aspect in that space, we always find ourselves on the bottom. So when we allow other people to control the agricultural system, the educational system, the spiritual systems, the economic systems, the political systems, the security systems, we always find ourselves on the bottom of those systems. So since we no longer want to be on the bottom, since we no longer want to be completely left out and locked out, we want to control every aspect of our space as much as possible. So everything we do in the Black Gold Nation movement is about bringing our people together so we can find the right people who really want to do something that matters, so we can get about the task of building power for ourselves. We are not here, Brother Craig and I, we're not here to just inform and educate you. We're trying to get you to do something. We want to inform, educate, motivate, mobilize, organize, and build. Because if we don't build something that can protect us, we'll always be in the condition that we're in. And of course, we don't like that. So tonight's show is titled The Blueprint for Becoming a Corporate Grassroots Revolutionary. Since this is our 50th episode, I thought it would be a good idea to talk about the symbol the brother represents, who makes the Revolutionary Code possible. And of course, that will be Brother Craig B. Lee. So tonight's show is titled With Him in Mind, because I think he represents something, and he is something that is an extremely important element to this empowerment movement that we are building. If we're going to make it to the finish line, we absolutely must have him and his type a part of it. And I want to discuss both he and the type of person that he is, because it's critically important. So the blueprint for becoming a corporate grassroots revolutionary. Question number one, Brother Craig, is what is a corporate grassroots revolutionary?
So to answer that question, I have to go back to 1995, when I was given the mission by the Creator and the ancestors to leave corporate America. I returned to Shreveport in 1994 as a pharmaceutical sales rep for Astra Pharmaceutical. And that was my last corporate gig before I got my purpose papers to leave permanently. And so to start doing this grassroots empowerment work. And so as I looked at my role models, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, Kwame Nkrumah, Stokely Carmichael, aka Kwame Ture, my homeboy, Huey P. Newton, H. Rap Brown, Bobby Seale, Black Panthers, the Deacons for Defense, all of these guys. I was like, all of them grassroots advocates, grassroots activists, grassroots revolutionaries. But the one thing that all of them were missing was an entrepreneurial focus to help fund the activities, the programs, the projects that they sought to construct that would help liberate, empower, and advance our people. And unfortunately, none of them had ever been in a corporate situation. So they were looking at this thing through the lenses of a socialistic aspect, and they thought that that would be something that would help advance our people. But what they didn't understand, as Dr. Francis Cress Welsing had to understand, it doesn't matter what economic or political system you look at, communism, socialism, capitalism, any ism, our people, melanated, Afrocentric folks are going to be on the bottom of that. And so when we now look at the capitalistic system, most people know that it is a diabolical and evil system, and that is correct. But inside of capitalism exists the Afrocentric system of free enterprise that our people created. We are the original marketers, business people of planet Earth. And so what the white folks did in creating capitalism was to take our free enterprise construct from an Afrocentric perspective and put it underneath their capitalistic perspective. And it's all done around corporation. Mm-hmm. And so hence the term corporate. And then when you connect that to some of the same freedom fighting work that my role models, my ancestors have done in the past, that's where you get the full term corporate grassroots revolutionary. Because in order for us to fund the programs, projects, housing development, schools, you gotta have goddamn money coming from somewhere. Right. And the damn evil people are not gonna give you money to liberate the goddamn aid.
That's right. So the title was a natural conclusion as to who you became, who you were. The terms corporate grassroots revolutionary was just a natural conclusion to everything that you had been through, you had learned, you had studied.
Yeah.
Okay, solid.
Yeah,
all right.
And experience working with 3 of the largest Fortune and Global 500 corporations in the world, that being Bell South Advertising Publishing Company, which was in 1992, 91 when I came back here. International Corporation, Navistar International. That was my first corporate gig coming out of Xavier in 1989. And then ultimately Astra Pharmaceuticals. And in between those 3, I worked for a Wall Street firm that had opened up in Atlanta, Georgia, as a municipal bond broker, McLaughlin, Piven, and Vogel. So that gave me the full scope of understanding this corporate game.
Okay, solid. Would you say you are the first corporate grassroots revolutionary?
I would pretty much say so, because when you think back, I mean, none of my predecessors were operating with that full understanding. It's rare that you're going to get, and that's why I came up with the term hybrid, melanated hybrid Black folks. It's rare that you're going to get that type of entity, somebody who can relate, love the grassroots, but still be able to function in the public and private sector. I haven't seen one of those individuals. So I would pretty much, and hell, I created the damn term, so that would make me the damn person.
Right. So you just mentioned, what'd you say?
I think if there was some other possible entities that resemble that, they never use that concept.
That term. Right. So you mentioned the need, the necessity to fund our own programs and projects. Because of course, like you just said, nobody's going to give you money to fund your own stuff. So Is that why the corporate grassroots revolutionary is so important? Because he or she provides the guidance, the leadership, the training to fund our own projects. Is that why it's so important, that position, that person?
That's definitely one of the main reasons, but also to create a physical prototype, a tangible reality for our people, our children especially, our impressionable young folks who are looking for bosses and shot callers to mimic and emulate. All they right now have to connect with are your entertainers.
Right.
Whether they are sports entertainers, music entertainers, movie entertainers, television entertainers, or your pseudo gangster entertainers, your drug dealers, your so-called pimps. The righteous individuals have never stepped up to fill that void.
Right.
We want to theorize and philosophize about these issues, but the tangible reality of capitalism is inescapable.
Right.
And so you can't run from it. And ironically, as you asked that question, yesterday I stopped up to do a Facebook Live on the, humongous technology center that's being put up, distribution center that's being put up by Amazon here in Shreveport.
Mm-hmm.
And one sister who went to Xavier, I guess she was a little bit after me, she ends up coming on my post, and after my brother to money started to blast me.
Oh.
A neoliberal, and she said that, don't you know Amazon is part of the damn problem? And how dare you supposed to be conscious and you up here promoting this, how this gonna free the people? And look, but back in the day, I would have ripped her ass to shreds.
Right.
But now, all I say, I smile and I say, sister, what the hell are you talking about? All this idealistic rhetoric that you're talking, here's what I need to know from you, baby. 3 goddamn things. I need to see your goddamn resume.
That's right.
Your receipt and your references. Resume, references, receipts of the idealistic foolishness that you're talking.
That's right.
Because at the end of the day, no matter how you want to cut this cake, no matter how oppressed we've been, if we do not create businesses that will interface with Amazon and these other entities, public and private sector, it's lights out for us.
That's right.
So while he was talking foolishly, my play sister, Lori Dodson, texted, she commented on the post. Lori is building a multi-million-dollar janitorial business based in Dallas.
Right.
So what did she say? Brother, I'm ready. Put me in the game, coach. Because we're going to get that goddamn contract.
Right.
And right now on this call, my colleague, Dr. Tyra Jones, she can tell you for herself. She is in the game now to help create business opportunities and being compensated with the public sector dollars from the city of Shreveport's Fair Share program. So if you ain't in the game, sit yourself on the sideline, shut the hell up, and put that damn dunce hat on and be quiet.
Okay. All right. So can we truly empower and free ourselves without corporate grassroots revolutionaries?
Hell no.
Impossible.
It's impossible because this is a corporate game.
Yep.
This is a corporate team game. And you have to create corporations in order to navigate within this. And those corporations have to be a combination of for-profit, non-profit. Those, whether it's LLCs, S Corp, C Corps, Massachusetts Trust, Living Trust, this game is very complex. And if you're not in that game, I mean, really, I don't even know. Like Dave Chappelle said in his thing, why you breeding up the good white folk ass?
All right. So we've identified the melanated grassroots Black hybrid as the top faction of the 6 factions of African descendants. So what is a melanated grassroots Black hybrid? And is the corporate grassroots revolutionary the end result of the melanated Black hybrid? Do we want all of our hybrids to become corporate grassroots revolutionaries? So what is it? Do we want all of our hybrids to become grassroots revolutionaries, or is there something else for them to do?
So the melanated grassroots hybrid Black African descendant is an entity, again, who has the love of his people, of her people. They're about the business of the liberation, empowerment, and advancement of our folks spiritually, culturally, educationally, economically, socially, and politically, okay? And those individuals can interface with our folks while simultaneously interfacing with local, state, federal government, international government entities, and the private sector corporate entities. But our focus is on building a corporate construct that is controlled by us within our segment. So that's number one. Now you ask, does every melanated grassroots hybrid Black person have to be a corporate grassroots revolutionary? Is that the end result for all of them? And the answer is no, because everybody is not going to be an entrepreneur. But we do have to have, and that's why we went over the movie earlier this year, last year, Spook Who Sat by the Door. We have entities who are actually double agents, triple agents, if you will, who can operate within corporate America, within municipal government, state government, federal government, international government, because there are things that are to be learned from being inside the belly of the beast, inside of the majority corporations, inside of local city, parish, county government, state government. So we got to have a combination of those entities who are rocking and rolling. So, but if you want to, get out and advocate as a freedom fighter, as a true grassroots advocate, you have to be an entrepreneur. You cannot have a job and get out here on the goddamn streets.
That's right.
Talking foolishly, because goddamn it, they're gonna see your job and they're gonna come talk to you.
That's right.
And one of my mentors, Reverend McAfee, tells the story when they were up in Muskegon, Michigan, and they were advocating against police brutality, and these 2 white cops had beat the hell out of these Negroes, and this one preacher stood up, and he was just going, and Rev was right with him. And so Rev, asked him, "Hey man, you want me to, spearhead?" Yeah, I got it. So bro, they raising all kind of hell, and man, God damn it, the mayor gonna have to fire these cats. And he said, man, they called for a town hall meeting, and they get up there, thousands of people in the facility, and dude up there talking cash noise. He said the mayor walked in, Reverend McAfee said the mayor walked in and asked that dude one damn question, and the dude was quiet from that point on. And here's the question. He asked him, how you like your job? Because guess where he worked at? For the damn city.
For the city. Right. So
dude has never thought about the fact that there are consequences.
That's right.
So in order to advocate, your money gotta come from those who you're representing.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So that's why those entities who are corporate grassroots revolutionaries, that's how they must function. Mm-hmm. Other entities who are grassroots hybrids, who are working jobs, we position them to be on various boards, because boards like the Electrical Contracting Board,
Right.
the Architectural Design and Development Board, the Port Authority, the Tourism Board, the Economic Development Board. They help to recommend policy to elected officials. So that's where you want the people with the jobs who can hide, and they can use their intellect for the benefit to help the mass.
Now, this is not one of my questions, but since you went there in that much detail, why do you think all those leaders that you mentioned, Malcolm, Martin, Stokely, the Panthers, Deacons for Defense, they might be too far back, but out of everybody that you mentioned, compared to everything you just said, why have we never heard that sort of strategic understanding as it relates to everyone that's come before? Our people have not talked about political power, political maneuvering, political strategy, if you will, on that level. Why is that?
You can only teach what you know. You can only teach what you understand, comprehend, and know.
Yeah.
And in order to know, you must understand, successfully understand, comprehend, and apply learned information. And unfortunately, as much as respect as I have for all of them,
that's right,
none of them have operated on the level that I've operated. That's just an irrefutable fact.
Yeah.
So one of Malcolm's, he said 2 of his greatest regrets was that he dropped out of school, and number 2 was that he turned his back on his younger brother Reginald, who tried to warn him about Elijah Muhammad, the truth about Elijah Muhammad and the Nation of Islam.
Okay.
So so that's number 1. Number 2, although they had a spiritual connection, it wasn't at a high level, because Malcolm was immersed in religiosity through Islam. The Black Panther Party and those guys, they pretty much had abandoned any kind of spiritual cultural system. They were really immersed, as you learned, as we watched Judas and the Black Messiah and went through all of the research on that. They were totally immersed into Eurocentric philosophy of communism, socialism, Marxism, Stalinism, all of this goddamn foolishness. So none of them came into the understanding and comprehension. They saw capitalism only as this greedy, diabolical system. That's all they saw. So in order to now understand something, you got to be able to deconstruct it.
That's right.
So when you deconstruct capitalism, you find at its core free enterprise. So none of these guys were on that level. And so they got caught up into pseudo discussion. And so what did they end up becoming, especially the Black Panther Party? They became pimps of their own people from a capitalistic standpoint. You see what I'm saying? And you have to now stop dealing with our situation from idealism, romanticism, and fantasy, and deal with it realistically. But if you have never been a part of this, you can't teach it. Right. You can't even comprehend how you got to maneuver within the overall dynamics. So all you're going to be doing is talking about what the evil people should stop doing. And it ain't got nothing really to do with what you gonna do. And that's why when you look at Garvey and Du Bois had the talented 10, the technocrats, the people who really knew how to do things. Garvey had the grassroots people, but they didn't know outside of, agriculture and whatnot. They didn't know how to do all this other technical stuff. And so they weren't going to get together because at that time, Du Bois had not elevated to becoming as cultural as he became.
Yeah.
And when he became cultural Pan-Africanist, he was in Ghana and they won't let his ass come back in the United
Come back to the US. Right. Right.
What he helped them to do.
Yeah. Okay. So what year did you coin the term corporate grassroots revolutionary?
1995.
1995. Okay. So when you did that, were you trying to describe yourself or something that you wanted to become, or something you were realizing, this is who I am? What were you trying to do when you came up with the term?
Realizing who I was at that time. Now I had to evolve into my entrepreneurial philosophy of culture, social entrepreneurship, but I knew I was a corporate grassroots revolutionary. But I had to figure out how I was going to do it through the entrepreneurial focus. And so that's how I ended up concentrating on 5 industries, 5 industries that I knew that I can get millions and billions of dollars from our Afrocentric consumer buying group, so that I could then do the programs, the projects, the businesses. And that being food and beverage, edutainment, entertainment, cultural arts, tourism, and wholesale products. And I haven't deviated from that. So I've created a unique game plan of for-profit and nonprofit corporations in those 5 industries. And that's how I've navigated for the past 26 years.
Okay, not one of my questions, but it popped into my head, so I'm going to ask. Since your introduction and your subsequent investments into cryptocurrency, would that be a 6th industry?
Absolutely. Investment, period. Not only crypto, but remember my background, part of my background is municipal bond investment.
Okay.
Dr. Jones and I were talking about this the other day, and I just wanted her to know I have looked at her slides. I got to give her a critique on them later on this evening. But so cryptocurrencies are one component, but also precious metals, whether you be talking about silver, gold, platinum, okay, real estate, all right, things that will appreciate in value. Art is one of those dynamics. So investing in things definitely is a component of the corporate grassroots revolutionary, and that's something that even the melanated hybrid, grassroots hybrid Black African descendant can get into and keep his anonymity while still being in the corporate or the public sector realm.
Gotcha. Okay, so given when you made the discovery of the term and who you were per that term, you've been able to learn and accomplish quite a bit. What could the Black community become if we're raising corporate grassroots revolutionaries from the cradle?
Oh, I mean, we can then achieve equity. We can achieve liberation. We definitely can achieve empowerment, equity, and we can advance ourselves here domestically and internationally. And a lot of people want to jump specifically over to the Caribbean and to Africa, but you got to also remember we have a plethora of our people in South and Central America, right?
Yep.
And so the Americas completely, if we handle our business as what we're talking about right now, and my agenda is real simple, creating a consortium through the Black Gold Nation and what I do here in Shreveport with LACE and my other organizations, the Liberation Advocates for Community Empowerment, is to go after 30%, just 30% of the $1.5 trillion plus African American disposable income market. And just 30%. I'm not talking about 50, 60, 70, 80%. When you now take 30% of $1.5 trillion, bro, you're talking about $450+ billion
Yep.
coming back. There's not even $1 billion in budget that's dedicated for African Americans in every damn city in every state in the United States.
That's right.
So if now a consortium of enlightened African descendants have mobilized, organized, energized themselves, and galvanized themselves around those 6 pillars of empowerment and lock down 30% of the African American disposable income, we can, HBCUs ain't got no issue, charter schools ain't got no issue, our neighborhoods, you got all of the money right there.
Yep.
You just have to redirect it under an umbrella of like-minded people. And what I'm saying to you is grassroots people traditionally ain't been in the money game.
Yep.
Got to get in the goddamn money game.
That's right.
What did I tell you before? Man, I'm not arguing with these Negroes over their goddamn religion and all this foolishness. Negro, I need 4 things for your goddamn ass. I need a percentage of your disposable income. I need your goddamn vote. I need a percentage of your intellectual capital, whether it be your labor and or idea. And I need your positive promotion of our businesses, projects, and programs. Other than that, damn it, if you want to be a pork chop eating ass, Church of God in Christ, Church of Christ, Holy Tabernacle, whatever the hell you want to be, you good with me. And if I got some time on a Sunday or Saturday, I might go with you. Okay.
All right. So if you missed the beginning of the show, you're listening to the Revolutionary Code, where we bring the truth about how governmental politics actually works and how that affects our people, Black people here in America, Africa, and the diaspora. Tonight's show is our 50th episode, and it's titled the Blueprint for Becoming a Corporate Grassroots Revolutionary. My name is Tamani Amandani. I'm the founder of the Black Nation Movement, and my co-host is Brother Craig B. Lee, who is the National Director for our Political Strategy and Implementation Department. Okay, Brother Craig, next question. If someone is watching this now or they're listening to the recording and they wanted to become a corporate grassroots revolutionary, because damn it, it sounds like an awesome thing to be, how do they get on that path?
I was like, tell you, brother, I don't know if you really want to do it. Because your damn family will be looking at you, that nigga crazy. I told you, he done lost his damn mind. He done just wasted that whole Xavier degree. But then when they start seeing you on the news, they be like, "Ooh, that's my nephew.
That's my baby." All right. So how?
You look, man. Let me tell you. And that's kind of like where I come into what we're doing with the Black Gold Nation. I mean, we have to foster that learning, and you just got to plug in. There are no books on it, and I'm never going to write a full-scale book on this because I can't give all of these secrets. The bottom line is they're going to have to just tap into the goddamn Black Gold Nation and become a damn member, or seek me out in Shreveport and come down here and learn. And of course now with the technology of what we're on right now with this app, Zoom, and other technological advancements, we can kind of partnership like that, but they're going to have to learn from someone like myself to actually rock and roll and do it. And again, I don't know any other entity like myself who's out there in the United States. And that's not stroking me or patting me on the back. I'm a part of, and have been a part of, the NAACP, so I evaluate their talent nationally. I've been a part of the Urban League. I evaluate their talent, and they got some hella talented folk. And they got skills, they got all of that. But now when you bring in the spiritual, cultural component to go with that, that's about the business of being willing to die for their people, that's a whole nother ball game.
Right.
And that's where you lose it. So they have to plug into the Black Gold Nation and the programs and projects that we're going to be doing and what I do in the city of Shreveport.
Cool. So what in your life led you to the path? What was happening, or what happened that you said, you know what, I got to get on another path because this ain't it. So what was happening with you, or what had happened with you to put you on this path?
Well, first I was goddamn tired of my damn territory as a pharmaceutical sales rep, because hell, I was covering Southern Arkansas and North Louisiana. And, you know, most people like, man, you can travel and stay in hotels. And had this been my first corporate gig, you know, I probably looked at it different. But coming out of Xavier in 1989, 21 years old, being over 80% of the state of Alabama, then transferring to Tennessee, being over 95% of the state of Tennessee in the hardcore Ku Klux Klan areas. First and foremost, ain't no white folks gonna scare me, because I've dealt with the Klan there, because they were truckers, they were loggers, and so I had to go see them. So already the fear was not there. Okay.
Right. Yep.
So that was already something I was tired of doing, travel.
Okay.
So that was number one. Then, so I had already handed in my resignation letter to Astra, and I was going to relocate back to ATL because I just couldn't get with the sellout Negro mentality here in the city of Shreveport. And like so many people, I thought I needed to be around other enlightened minds, like I had been in New Orleans and in Atlanta. And so I was like, I got to go, man. So I had handed in my resignation letter, and it was a particular night. It was about a week before I was to resign. I heard about a murder on the radio, and I said, "Damn, sound like I know that dude." So the next day, I'm at the house eating lunch, getting ready to go see some doctors, and like I said, I was just a few days from resigning, and the news flash came on about the murder from the night before. And so they mentioned the guy, and I'm looking, and so they said, this is the guy who murdered him, and he's a fugitive. And they said the name Grover Arnold. And I said, God damn, that's Grover Arnold. I was like a big brother to this guy coming up in the hood. Okay. So I said, how did Grover become a killer? I come from a single parent household. Mom ain't never made over $15,000. And although we were all in the same hood, Grover came from a 2-parent household. Mama was cool, daddy was cool. So, but he wanted to be, you know, a slickster. And so that was the incident that caused me to pause and ask the question, why are all of these brothers and sisters, you know, committing all these heinous crimes against each other? Yep. And that was the first time that I asked that question, and the creator said, look around your communities that you grew up in and tell me, what don't you see? Not what you see, what don't you see? And I said, I don't see, which is what came to be my 6 pillars of empowerment. I said, I don't see no spirituality. I don't see no culture. I don't see no education. I don't see no economics. I don't see no socioeconomics. And I don't see no politics. And it was at that moment that the creator said, I raised you in these streets. I raised you in the hood. You got your foundation, your education, took you to Xavier, took you to corporate America, not for you to be in all those other places, but for you to come back and help liberate these crazy ass Negroes who are your relatives and classmates and other children who ain't got a chance if somebody like you don't stay back and help. And that was the catalyst. And ironically, Grover Arnold was supposed to be in jail for life. And he got out of jail and saw me, and he had heard that I was using my story about him in some of the local jails when I do workshops. And it was just shocking. And but he still has not. He does a few things, but he ain't completely reformed. But that was the catalyst. Okay, and that's a perfect segue to the next question. So
once you got that revelation, once you were given that your marching orders, so to speak, from that time to now, what has been some of your greatest challenges and your most eye-opening lessons as a corporate grassroots revolutionary? Your greatest challenges and your most eye-opening lessons as a corporate grassroots revolutionary.
My greatest challenges, I can tell you, number one is dealing with idle, lazy, good people who talk a lot of noise but don't do a goddamn thing.
Yeah,
that's the number one. Okay. They talk a lot of noise about what should happen, what could happen, and they don't do a goddamn thing. So that's the number one challenge. The next biggest challenge was to learn to embrace the goddamn hate. When I first left corporate, and I'm from the hood, so I hear a Negro lying on me, or heaven forbid if it was a white person, because a few white persons threatened to kill me, I call their ass up on the phone. And I'll be like, this Craig Lee, I read what you said in the paper. You want to meet? And then you hear the Negro talking, and then I'm like, I'll call them up, and it's been about 15, maybe 16, 17 years ago, the creator was like, hey nigga, who you think you are? And I'm like, creator, I'm willing to die for the people. Like, and what?
Who's that gonna help?
Everybody who gets in this game, part of your basic training is learning how to be hated on, learning how to be lied on, learning how to be just tripped out on. I mean, by family members. So you have to build the skin for that, right? So those are my two biggest challenges. There are others, but those are the two biggest.
Okay.
In terms of accomplishment.
No. Eye-opening lessons.
Oh, eye-opening lessons.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Some of the closest people to you will sell you out. I understood how they got Malcolm. I understood how they got King. The creator has truly prepared me because I've experienced that before the money is made. I experienced that before too much success has been made.
Right.
Because if the money is made and you have not thoroughly vetted the people around you, oh, you're gonna get got. And I've experienced that, and I appreciate those lessons. Just experienced it yet again.
Yeah.
But I'm so quick to pull your ass, cut your ass off. I mean, it's simple, but without a spiritual and cultural foundation, I really see how Malcolm got, because you're constantly trying to make excuses for these slave-minded Negroes.
Right.
And they that's why I had you look at The Godfather of Harlem the other day. Did you get through the last one?
Almost. I'm almost there. I'll let you know I'm done. Almost there, yeah.
Because they double-crossed Bumpers. And it hurt him. You see? So I don't go anticipating that people are going to sell me out, but I'm open for the possibility of it.
Right.
So it doesn't throw me for a loop.
Right.
Because my first business partner was one of those, and you have to be tested on that end.
Okay. All right. So I have two more questions, and you let me know after answering either one when you want to show the pictures that you sent me. So the first question is about your three greatest accomplishments. That's the first question, the three greatest achievements. And the second question is about your fundraising philosophy and how different it is than most Black people. So you want to show the pictures after your three greatest achievements answer, or you want to show them after the fundraising answer?
We'll show them after the my achievement answer.
Okay, so
They'll tie into that. So if I had to rank them,
yeah,
and I like sent you the photos in that.
Wait. So the question is, what are your top 3 greatest achievements as a corporate grassroots revolutionary? Would you have some achievements that rank high before you came upon that title?
I mean, I don't include those. I don't include the corporate stuff and the pre-corporate grassroots revolutionaries. I mean, if you come to my house, you ain't gonna see no damn degrees on the wall. You ain't gonna see all my stuff is in a storage bin.
Yeah.
And it's not because I'm not appreciative of awards and whatnot, but none of that matters.
Right.
What matters to me is the liberation, empowerment, and advance of my people.
That's right. All right. So your top 3 great achievements as a corporate grassroots revolutionary.
So as a corporate grassroots revolutionary, the number one thing is the creation, working with my former business partner, and we created the first Afrocentric architecture development in the history of North Central Louisiana, the Dr. Howard Sims Dental Facility. So that's the first. The second would be being the point entity for the North Louisiana Black Renaissance movement that includes the economic revitalization, corporate community revitalization, and also the cultural component. So I've spearheaded that for the past 26 years, and you'll see within that dynamic the Fair Share program that is here in the city of Shreveport. Myself, my team, we're the ones responsible for that. And inside of that, and it has taken 27 years to get this done, 25 years to get that done. And that is the disparity study that is now about to make the Fair Share program function the way that it does. And that's how Dr. Jones has ended up getting the contract. And one of my colleagues is over the program. And I got the call today from the purchasing director that I'll be one of the point entities on the contract. Awesome. That will be coming up dealing with the disparity study. So those are the 3 greatest. And so now you can show those clips, and I'll articulate what we're seeing.
Okay, as I'm setting up the clips, tell me why those 3 are your top 3 greatest. Those 3 in particular. Why those 3?
Because especially with the Dr. Howard Sims Dental Facility, Israel, my former business partner, said, "Brother Craig, we're going to transform the minds of our people by transforming their physical reality." And to be a part of a project that was featured, first time any architect has ever been featured in a full page write-up, that ain't the first photo, man. But hold on, but this is a very important image. This is myself and my partner Derek Washington. We made world history we had 11 high schools in Caddo Parish. Now, none of these people are grassroots hybrids or grassroots advocates or revolutionaries, so I have to figure out how to navigate and get people involved my age. So all of these are classmates from 11 high schools. We did first time in world history, brought all the high school alumni from the class of 1985 together.
Okay. So you didn't finish answering the question. Why those top 3?
Well, that's what I'm saying. In terms of that physical reality is there.
Okay, I got you.
And it's actual history of Louisiana. That can't be taken from myself and Israel, and it's been archived. The Fair Share program is a perpetual thing that will go on after I die, and that's helping Black businesses. I don't get into the contract procurement dollars, but I have to help Black businesses get a percentage of those tax dollars so they can hire our people. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So each one of those programs, projects that I've worked on, those particular things are going to remain in perpetuity long after I leave.
Okay. So since you said that was not first, I'm gonna click on the last picture. Maybe that's gonna be the first one. So we'll see.
It's a newspaper article with me and the
oh
guys.
well, if it's a news article, they're not in order. So I'm just gonna start from where.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna start from where I was. All right. So let me go.
Yeah, and then we scroll through, and I'll describe them each one of them.
Okay, cool. Let me go back real quick and click there. Start where I was.
And none of those people had ever been involved in governmental affairs or anything. So they see me on television, they read about me in the newspaper. So it's like, boom, let's do something that will galvanize them. And that was one of them. That's beautiful. The Troublemaker. That was what I was labeled. And some of my classmates from Xavier were like, they called into the newspaper and they were like, how dare you put this in there and label him a troublemaker? And I said, no, this is a good troublemaker. This is a bad troublemaker. And what happened with that article, Tamani, I was having a conversation with Brother Ron, who is the Ron Collins. This is the oldest Black newspaper in the state of Louisiana, the Shreveport Sun. Mm-hmm. And Ron Collins, we were having a discussion about the troublemaker, people who don't get recognized, the real people who led the Montgomery bus boycott, some of the Deacons for Defense.
Right.
We were talking about that, and he said, Craig, you know what? You're a damn troublemaker. And that's how that article came about.
Got it. Okay, so let me click on the arrow for the next one.
The next one, yeah. That's me, Israel, and the builders. That's the Dr. Howard Sims dental facility. And so that's Shreveport. That is that's the greatest dental facility in America. Israel built that on a pier beam system, put all of my 6 pillars of empowerment in there in the architectural design, put the 12 Hebrew tribes in there. The brother is off the chain.
Awesome. All right.
That's a continuation of the article.
Okay.
This when I talk about the Fair Share program, my work led to a 6 full-page expose in 2001 on the contract procurement program. The city was lying, saying that Black businesses receiving or Fair Share certified firms were receiving 28% of the contracts. I did statistical analysis on that, first time in American history that a grassroots person had done a statistical analysis to call a city to task. And I challenged the newspaper to do their own independent analysis, and they came back with my number.
Gotcha. All right.
This number one. This is why I do what the hell I do. That's my uncle, Giles D. Moore, my great uncle. That's my great grandfather. No, my great grandfather's brother. Yeah, my great grandfather's brother, Philip Moore, Giles D. Moore. He is the founder of one of the Black townships, Tamani, Moorestown. And when he died, one of my cousins sold the land to the city of Shreveport, and they incorporated it into the city, and it became known as Mooretown, and that's where our airport is at. And he is one of the spirits that dwell within me.
Amen.
And he was a father of Marcus Garvey.
Oh, cool. Awesome. All right.
And you already know what this is.
Yep.
My campaign as we getting ready to gear up to lock down the city council seat next year.
Okay.
More campaign from 2018. More campaign 2018. This is powerful. Do you remember John Meredith, James Meredith?
Yep.
Brother who,
Yep.
That's him in the middle. I was selected to be on a panel discussion with him several years ago, and that was a great day to sit on a panel with a living civil rights icon and share the stage with. That's me, my sister, and one of our big time DJs. We do an annual festival here called the CC Antoine Black History Celebration in honor of Louisiana's third Black Lieutenant Governor, CC Antoine. We have been designated by his family as the vanguard for his legacy. And my uncle, Giles D. Moore, and CC Antoine were Masonic brothers with the Prince Hall Masonic Lodge. CC Antoine wrote the charter that incorporated the town of Shreve into the city of Shreveport in 1871.
Oh, cool. All right.
That's Brother Woodfolk. He was one of the Angola Three who had spent with the gray hair. I'm sitting next to him.
Yep.
That's a group called Vote, Voices of the Experience. We are part and parcel of the reason why Louisiana's 10-2 non-unanimous jury verdict was overturned. John Legend worked with us on that. And so these are ex-offenders who helped to create public policy for the benefit of our folks. That's me and my sisters there. And ironically, they're getting ready for their Louisiana Soul Food Festival. So they branched off to do their own festival. So I'm happy for both of them. They crazy as hell, but you know. This is my good partner, Greg Powell. One of the other things that I do, I'm the vice chairperson for the Xavier Alumni Association of North Louisiana. So that's our president. We help to recruit students who are about that business. Me and my cousin, I help to recruit students as well. Myself, my former business, both of these guys, Tamani, they were founders. Well, Lloyd wasn't, but me and Herschel Brown, we were founders, co-founders of the Tuesday Morning Breakfast Group. And Big Lloyd died last year. Herschel died a few years prior. And that's a great photo of us and former Lieutenant Governor Mitch Landrieu. And this is what I'm saying, being a corporate grassroots revolutionary. I mean, I'm an outlaw, I'm an intellectual gangster, but I have connections to lieutenant governors, the governors, mayors, and you gotta know how to balance that so that you can get the things that's necessary for your people. And you know who that is, right?
I know the brother on the, yeah, well, I know both of them, yeah. Dr. Claude Anderson and the brother who runs the NAACP, the president, yeah.
So he was speaking, and that's Mike Lafitte, one of my mentees. He's supposed to be on the call. I don't know if he's on the call right now, but he's the president of the Shreveport branch NAACP, and we were there to hear and support Dr. Claude Anderson when he came to Shreveport. And you already know who that cat is.
Yeah.
Tuesday morning breakfast. When you know, it's funny when you ask, because there's so many things that I've done. But man, so everybody will know this. We have been doing this program for 25 years, the Tuesday Morning Breakfast Group. And Tamani and Lloyd, they will be launching a Wednesday morning breakfast group in Houston. We bring public and private sector decision makers to the table to discuss the issues that impact Black business owners, the Black community, the city, the parish. And we brought Brother Lloyd up. And so I'm so proud of this because it's the only such program like this in the United States. We've hosted governors, senators, mayors, so everybody knows in order to rock and roll and navigate, you got to come through our thing.
That's right.
And we do that. We did Kwanzaa. We do host all kinds of them. And I am the chairperson of this group. This is when last year I finally said, it's time for me to start teaching people, kind of like what you asked earlier, Tamani. And this is a group that I created last year, LACE, the Liberation Advocates for Community Empowerment, just us, for us, by us. And this coincides with what we do with the Black Gold Nation. And if you can see the boots we're talking about, you got to be in the street, in the game, in the war from 1555 to 1865.
What do those dates, those years represent?
That's chattel slavery in terms of the third Jordan from the continent. And of course, 1865, that's when Civil War ended and the process for Reconstruction began.
Got it. It's a hell of a logo. That's awesome.
This is this past year with the George Floyd situation. We had 2 murders that happened in police custody actually before the George Floyd and Breonna Taylor deal. And so we took to the streets to help that young man who was in the hat. His father was one of the brothers who was murdered. And that brother there is a lawyer for the Johnny Cochran law firm. So they've taken up the case. We were there advocating for them. That's a photo from that day. Again, straight out of 85, that's the organization that we've created. That's called the Kettle Parish Class of 1985 Alumni Association. That's the city council stuff. That's about our board.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, keep on going. Keep on going. I don't know what you. These are the other folks.
Yeah, I don't. I don't know how they got. Wait,
I don't know how you got all these.
Hold on.
Well,
you know what? It was. They came in. They came in 2 different groups. So let me click out and go back because
yeah. There you go.
There was a pause in between the 2. So give me a second.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go.
We already did that one. All right.
That's that one. And that's the 85 symbol that we rock and roll with. This is one of my greatest accomplishments because, I always talk about playing dominoes. This is how I navigate in the hood. These are cats, street cats. But when you can whoop their ass on a domino table, they'll listen to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't talk direct politics with them, but when you whoop their ass and they see you on TV and the newspaper, now it's like, hey man, what's going on with such and such, such and such? So that's how we navigate with that.
That's big.
That's my for-profit business, Creole Soul Louisiana Meat Pies, food and beverage operation. Menu. Best, by the way, I have the best commercial food product in the beef, chicken, and ground turkey, and every product is named after a historical Black figure from the state of Louisiana. So we bring in Louisiana history, Black history in with the product.
Gotcha.
Same with that. We get that's what they look like, y'all. So if you ever come to Louisiana, we ain't shipping them yet, but in a few years you'll be able to get them. More information about me and the CC Antoine. We've been covered on this for years. Now this is powerful. We connected CC Antoine and his brother Felix. These are the descendants of his brother's family, Buster Antoine and his wife in the blue, Buster in the middle, our radio personality there. And from that overall standpoint, we brought them together to have their first ever reunion. And people say, well, why would you do a family reunion for people you're not related to? Because we had to unite the historical folks who made groundbreaking history.
Yeah.
C.C. Antoine and his brother, they started the first Black regiment during the Civil War. And they just phenomenal.
Wow.
So we brought them together a few years ago.
And did the family members, did they know of their accomplishments of their family member? Did the people that you brought together, did they know about CC Antoine?
They've learned a lot from us. And they've been learning about his great-great-grandfather. And so they've learned a lot more from us.
Wow, powerful, powerful.
You know who that cat there is.
Yeah, some dude up the street.
One of the first things, well, this was my first grassroots work, Tamani. Back in 1995, Stop the Violence. For 3 months, we hit every community throughout the city. That's how I can tell you all this don't work, goddammit. Man, we marched every goddamn weekend, gave these Negroes food and everything, and they still was killing. One Saturday, we was marching in Cedar Grove with one of the gubernatorial candidates, Cleo Fields, and was goddamn dead body right on the street with the tape up.
Wow.
So we were just talking about stop the damn violence. Really. That's one of the many times you'll hear me blasting on folks at the city council.
Right.
Now, this is one of my proudest achievements. This is my stepson, Jalen, my ex-wife's son. Several years ago, he became the national spokesperson for Students Against School to Prison Pipeline. He had an award-winning project about the school to prison pipeline, and Chastity knocked it out the park in terms of her promotion, and I coached him up. And man, this was a great photo shoot that some of the photographers did, but he went viral and he started getting texts speaking around the country.
Awesome.
So he's a part of what we're talking about when you're talking about training up.
Yep.
Grassroots hybrid.
That's right.
Yeah. So that's a news article about him. As he and I getting ready for an event. That's how he wanted. I told him put that prison uniform on, and that sealed the deal. That knocked it out. And Michelle Alexander was so impressed, Imani. She sent him letter and autographed copy of his book when she wrote The New Jim Crow. So she was very impressed with what we had done. Another article on him. That dude was given a check that weekend in New Orleans to speak for a group who advocates for the youth. And so we went all the way up to Colorado as well. That's when we were speaking. He was invited to speak in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We were in the Black Wall Street. We were speaking up there.
All right. And it's the last one.
And New Orleans. That's one of the powerful grassroots advocates for youth up in, they're in DC. And we were all down in New Orleans, and Jalen was the host presenter for their conference that year. Gotcha. And I got to say, that's when you ask about young folks and cultivating them, that is one of my best pieces of work, because Jalen was not a public speaker, but he embraced it. And man, when I saw that cat in I think it was seventh grade, when he spoke in Colorado Springs to about 600 and something lawyers, judges, and educators. Wow. And man, that dude shocked the world on him. So when you talk about cultivating these young grassroots hybrids, that's what we have to end up doing.
Yeah. All right. Before I get to these last two questions, why is it so important to show everyone those pictures?
You got to show receipts, and as I told you, it's one thing to tell people things, but we got to start to do a better job of vetting people. Yeah. Resume references receipts. Resume references and receipts. If somebody says that they do something, ask for the resume references and receipts. Yeah. You see what's going on right now with so-called Brother Polite, yep. Star Netter. All these people are playing games with our folks.
That's right.
And so we have to be, if we're going to be the leadership, we have to show by example. And from that standpoint, I have no problem with anybody asking me any question. I can produce anything that I've done so that they know I'm bona fide triple OG up in the camp.
All right. Okay, cool. So second to the last question, you look at fundraising completely different than the majority of our people. So how do we Black people typically look at fundraising and juxtapose that as to how you look at fundraising?
All right, so go back to that photo with the painting. so they can see this. And I'll start talking. So my premise of fundraising is not to do plate sales and goddamn car, especially not no goddamn car wash. Because you get a good group of people out and y'all wash 20 damn cars, you might not see them again for another 5 years. So you got to figure out creative ways of generating revenue. And so I created a philosophy called PEP, Purpose, Education, Product. Purpose, Education, Product. And the job is to pep up a target group in order for them to embrace what I am trying to promote for the benefit of my organization. This is a project, and I damn near cried last Tuesday when I picked this painting up. I've worked on this project for 22 years. And I finally got it completed last week by the artist Vitus Shell out of Monroe, Louisiana. And this particular project, this is phase one of $4.5 million project, of which $800,000 will be going to students at Grambling State University, Southern University, Baton Rouge, Xavier University, my alma mater, Dillard University, and SUNO, Southern University, New Orleans, for students who are majoring in fine arts, graphic art design, music, English, and journalism. And I selected those majors because the whole concept is for people to embrace the philosophy of what we're actually doing, the concept of why we're raising money, okay? They have to see it. They have to see the actual program of what you're promoting. And in essence, this is a historical Black preservation program. So we then educate them about this, and then we give them a product, a value-based product. So this product here is a Giclée limited edition fine art print. We'll sell 5,998 of these for $789. So we'll be raising roughly $4.7 million in phase one. Phase two, we'll sell posters, framed, unframed of this, mouse pad, several other items. So we stand to generate about 50 million gross in phase two, and the net will be about 25 million. We'll be able to give the students at Xavier, Dillard, Southern, Grambling, another almost $4 million in funds. And so my concept of fundraising is going beyond the mom and pop chitlin dinners, car washes, basic things like that.
Right.
So we can give value-based products to individuals and now come up with a creative marketing plan so people embrace what you're actually trying to do, so that you can now set a prototype. And my focus is our HBCU,
right? Because
the only institution that can mobilize, organize, energize, and galvanize all of the different factions of these crazy ass African descendants in America, whether it be the Divine Nine, the religious, no matter what it is, the only institution that can mobilize, organize, energize, and galvanize all of them are our HBCU. Mm. And so my focus is on showing them with a simple project around art, with a phenomenal piece that's centered around the Bayou Classic, essence of the Bayou, and we go ahead and handle our business. But that's my premise, PEP.
Okay. All right. So last question. You get one takeaway from tonight's show to ensure, well, if you could ensure that everyone walks away with one takeaway for the rest of their lives from tonight's show, what would that one takeaway be?
You got to unlock, unleash, and activate your mind so that you can learn, know, and work your life purpose. And that's the only way that I've been able to do all of what I've done over these past 26 plus years in the city of Shreveport. And you got to be able to handle up on that. And so, but the only way that you can do that is to unleash and activate your mind and then your spirituality. And so that would be my main takeaway.
Excellent. Cool. All right. Well, that concludes tonight's show. We're going to roll into the Q&A. Brother Naru has turned his camera on. So, of course, Brother Naru goes first because he always has a question. Brother Naru.
Hey, how y'all doing now, man? Congratulations on 50, bro. That's big. You know what I mean?
We getting up there.
Yes, sir. We all in our 50s, so that's all good, man. I got two questions. The first one is for you, Tamani, since this is 50. Yeah, if I got one for you tonight, brother.
Watch out. Oh, shit.
Since this is the 50th, I want to know if you had all of these things archived on a hard drive or some other way of saving these that we could upload them to another format. I just put into the chat, some good friends of mine here are buying a television station on the Comcast network. These are some very powerful brothers. They reached out to me about content today. And I mentioned, of course, Black Gold Nation in this show in particular. They're going to review it. I hope it ain't too black for them, but I don't think so. I think this might be a vehicle. So I just want to know if you had those things available, if we were to be able to upload them to this station when it gets going, and in what format you had them saved in, like what quality do you know?
Yes, I have them saved on, I think, 3 different storage devices.
That's smart.
Amen, brother. Amen. I try. and I think they are definitely an MP4, and the other one is a format that I don't use. So I have it on 2 different formats, and of course, when it comes to digital anything, you can always convert it to a different format, but it's MP4.
Right. I just wanted to know if you had the higher quality than an MP4, whatever you originally recording, but an MP4 can work, but I just wanted to know about that.
Yeah, I'll let you know what that other format is.
That's fine.
After the show. Cool.
And I put in the chat a link to the Oakland Post where it talks about, and I know all of those brothers except for one of them. I've done business with all of them. So it's really legit. It's about to go down.
Cool. Excellent.
And okay, this one is for you, Brother Craig. Wake up over there.
I'm here.
All right, let me see. So earlier you were talking about how you got into this and your businesses and stuff. So my question is, how do you balance your various businesses and investments with your revolutionary work, and how long did it take you to find that balance?
The grassroots work and the entrepreneurship, that was a natural fit. What was difficult was when I first ran for office in 2010, trying to find that balance. That's difficult because, you know, I'm getting orders for goddamn meat pies, and I'm out knocking on doors. Somebody wants you to come talk to their damn child. Somebody got you shot, you know. So that was the biggest thing. And so I had to make sure that until I pull off like this art project or one of my other bigger projects where I can make a few $1 million on the front end, I can only sell my meat pie product in small quantities because that will tie my ass up too much.
No doubt.
Because if you just look at Nauru, the success of Golden Crust Bakery out of New York, and they can't even see me with their trash as meat patty. These cats make over $100 million a year, and they produce over 45 million pies a year. Well, if I even got 100 orders a day, I would be in trouble. Mm-hmm. Because I'm the damn cook, the damn dishwasher, the delivery driver, the bagger. And so I have to balance that. I had to figure that one out. So I finally did. It took up until about 2012 to really figure that out. So a period of, that's 16 years. So 16 years it took to figure out how to blend all of that. But in terms of the original grassroots work in my original business was marketing, finance, and I thought, Naru, when I first jumped out here, and that's why I admire you and what you're still doing to help our people in the nonprofit world, as well as Dr. Jones, because my first business was marketing, financial investments, and grant writing, proposal writing. And I had to find out real goddamn quick, the Negro don't want to pay, goddamn. They don't want to pay for that. And so I said, whoa, I'm in the wrong damn business. And that's when I ran across that quote by Kelly Miller. The Negro pays for what he wants.
That's right.
And begs for what he needs. So I said, I got to deal with these Negroes where they want to be versus where they need to be, and now come back into where they need to be after I made money in the other realm. So it took about 16 years to synthesize everything as it relates to the grassroots advocacy, the entrepreneurship, the right entrepreneurship, and the politics, because it is pretty difficult.
Yeah, it's a balancing. And I just want to say, you can't even see me on the pies because I got the vegan pies, bro. They
yeah.
You got to get you a vegan one, bro. Come on. What's up?
You know that, man. These Negroes ain't eat no goddamn vegan and lose.
Yeah, you got to trick them, man. You don't tell them. You just let them taste it. And
Right.
then
You tell them after they taste it. For
yeah,
sure,
after they eat
for
it,
sure.
man. Come on.
I'm telling you, I can't get my son to stop eating my vegan dishes. He just he's all in my food. So anyway, that's it, Brother Nero?
That's it, brother. And
Cool.
congratulations
All right.
again.
Thank you. Sister Devotion?
Yeah, peace, everyone.
Sister
First,
Denise, what's up?
I have a quick question. Brother Craig, what don't you do? What don't you do?
Sleep?
Exactly. That would be the right answer. That would be the right answer. I'm so impressed. But one thing that stood out in all that you were saying is, I'm thinking about our young people and what would be the best way to get them to even begin to think of how they can implement the 6 pillars of empowerment. Because the stuff that you're talking about, it's going to take, I feel it may take a while for them to get there if they don't have this foundation that they can start incorporating into their lives daily and just implementing, so that their minds and their spirits are at a place where they're open to change and they see that they need it and they do it. How do we get them to just implement these pillars?
That's a great question. And here's the answer. So I've created my curriculum of teaching not only adults, but also young people. I call it B-STEAM, B-E STEAM, S-T-E-A-M. And that's business, economics, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. So the highest form of water, is STEAM. That's the transformation of liquid water, H2O, into gas. And so how does liquid become gas? It has to go through a heating process. And at a certain temperature, the liquid will evaporate, and it's still cold, but it is now all around. It's no longer liquid. So business, economics, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. Of those elements in the STEAM, each one of them incorporates a business and economic component. And so I'm taking art, okay, because everything is art. Like if you, right now, on the top of your head, you have some glasses. And if you look at those glasses, that is art. And an idea came from somebody's mind to create those glasses. So we're using art. That's why I showed you the art project that I'm doing with the HBCUs. So we're going to now allow young students to help me package those pieces as they're sold. I'm going to pay them. So now they can start to see that they can generate money in a positive way using the 6 pillars of empowerment. All right. Then I'm going to hit them with dominoes, because now when we can put dominoes and put money behind it, now the young folks can now start to see, oh, I can now start to make money by now playing dominoes. And now I'm manipulating them, as Naru just got through talking about, tricking them into embracing spirituality and culture, because dominoes and chess, both are cultural games from Africa, right? So we just have to put those things into the relative construct and now introduce a component of business and economics with each thing that we do. And that's how we will get to the young people. That's why I showed the picture of the cats at the rec center when I played dominoes with them. I never taught direct politics to them. I just whooped their ass in dominoes. Then they start to ask me, about politics. Now I'm on their level. Now, I asked a couple of those guys, I said, hey man, if I were to put $60,000 up to help you all start a business, and we brokered a deal where y'all got 70% and I got 30, would y'all be willing to rock and roll with that? And they said, hell yeah. And so that's how we do it. We get into something that they like, and now we navigate with them, and now we introduce the 6 pillars of empowerment. And I myself am the living embodiment of that. I also, my mentee, Mike Lafitte, is on the call today, along with my business partner, Francis Smith. And Mike Lafitte is 40 years old. I've been mentoring him for the past several years. And both of us, he's getting baptized right now by this rogue group in the NAACP. So we both found out that they're trying to get rid of both of us together. So he's learning what it's like to be an outlaw. But that's how we would do it, Sister D, in terms of the art component, fine art, graphic art design, dominoes, those things that they can be introduced to, that we can connect a business and an economic standpoint, as well as the cryptocurrency. And now we bring all of the facets of the 6 pillars of empowerment together to introduce.
Cool. And I also want to, I'm sorry, you're muted, Sister Devotion.
I was saying thank you for clarifying that. And even as you were speaking, I even got some ideas, because it's really about being able to be practical.
Yeah.
And practical application will get it done. So you just gave me some thoughts.
Exactly.
All right, and I also want to let everyone know that next June, the 25th, I think the 25th through the last weekend in June of next year, we're having our second, the first one was in 2017, our second national Black Gold leadership election, by which we tell Black people nationwide, we're trying to build a nation within a nation. We need Black folk who know what they're doing in several different areas. And Sister Devotia is a candidate for the spirituality development and implementation department for the Black Gold Nation. So I just want you guys to know that she is running for office in the Black Gold Nation, and she'll probably win. I'm gonna stuff her ballot box. So,
Wait a
all
minute,
right.
and I want y'all to know, that I'm coming with my receipts, my resumes, and my references.
There you go. There you go. There you go. All right. So, Brother Trayvon, you got a question?
Yes. Hello.
What's happening?
Comment and a question. You said I'll be a busy man. So first I want to breathe, because this was a refreshing conversation for me. I've been part of many different organizations, revolutionary organizations in the past. And, the like, as Brother Craig mentioned, the conversations about communism or socialism or anti-capitalism and those things. I noticed it was a lot of people, it wasn't just me, but in this generation, the whole ideal about the capitalism thing and there not being its money, I guess long story short is I got tired of being broke and not having money and but wanting to fight for my people. But just as you said, bro, I need some money. And so I got to the point, like you said, where as long as capitalism is here, we got to capitalize because we need money in order to do things. You can't function in the capitalist system without money. So you are a breath of fresh air to hear that, and to hear that coming was just, it was just great. I just want to appreciate you for that. I mean, so I can't gather all the words that's going on in my head, you know, trying to gather the thought to be precise and concise, but I can't get it. But I just want to let you know that I appreciate that, and I'm gonna keep coming to these meetings on Thursdays.
Awesome. I appreciate it. And Brother Trayvon, I appreciate your comments. And let me tell you, brother, I told Tamani once we viewed Judas and the Black Messiah, you know, Fred Hampton, his roots are here in Louisiana. He's buried in Haynesville, Louisiana. Huey P. Newton is from Monroe, Louisiana. H. Rap Brown is from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Geronimo Pratt is from Morgan City, Louisiana. Louisiana is the core of this whole thing. The Black Panther Party was a spinoff of the Deacons for Defense. And that's why when I look at all these cats, I love their spirit. But like I told Brother Tamani, they didn't do an investigation into capitalism. You cannot throw the entire system out because it functions through the Afrocentric system of free enterprise. We created business. We created commerce. We created institutions. So what has happened, the white folks have taken our thing, flipped it, and now Negroes, because they don't really do real investigative research, they're coming at this from a very, very skewed perspective, not really knowing that Marxism, communism, all of those systems, all of them have failed. All of them have failed. Mm-hmm. And there should be no reason that a grassroots brother or sister should not be able to become a millionaire or billionaire. Because guess what you're gonna do with a percentage of your dollar? You're gonna reinvest them and help the damn people.
Yep.
But if you're broke, how you gonna do it?
Exactly.
It's possible. Okay? Yeah. And so I take on a lot of the weight for the folks because I don't want them to come out here and get their wig split. Because it's like, look, bro, you don't want to get out here on this firing line. Just go ahead, put up $50 a year. I mean, real simple. $50 a year. I'll advocate for all of y'all because y'all ain't ready to take on this way. Y'all
That's right.
have the thing. I'll take the block.
So Brother Trayvon, who is that you have sitting on your lap?
Oh, this is my fourth son. This is TJ. This is Trayvon Jr. right here.
Okay, so
I named my last.
I understand, brother. I want you to know, man, beyond the shadow of any doubt, and I mean this sincerely, every single thing we do, brother, is to put that young brother in a better spot. That's why we show up. That's why we put in the time. That's why we study. That's why we pray. That's why we meditate. That's why we never quit. That's why we don't stop. Because we understand if we don't give that young brother a platform by which he can have power and wield that with a two-edged sword, because he has enemies and we raised him to understand that, then we are committing the worst sin a human being can commit. So I want you to know, brother, we are here always because we know he's coming behind us. And I say that sincerely. That's why we show up.
I appreciate it. Yes, sir. And I understand that as well. And that's why I'm here for them. He's one of two other ones around here. The oldest one in this house, 6, and then there's a 4-year-old. So I got a bunch of little ones that
got a long way to go.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. But the best part about it is I'm a lot more mature at this stage of my life. Amen. And I'm able to impart a different type of perspective and help them and help guide them
Yes, sir.
in a different way that I wouldn't have been able to do earlier in life.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that aspect. And then I got a question for you when we talked about real estate and investing. I'm into the investing thing and all that, crypto and all that. But investing wise, have you heard of Brother Jay Morrison?
Yeah.
And his investing in real estate and all that.
Yeah, he's scamming. He's scamming.
He's scamming?
Yeah, he's scamming. Yeah, he's
Okay.
scamming. Let me tell you, there are a few scams going around in real estate and in the crypto. People are getting people to join multi-level marketings to get into crypto and into real estate. I do not recommend that. Again, my business partner, Francis Smith, is on. She teaches major classes in Dallas, Texas on crypto. We do this thing for real. Now, I'm not saying that being a part of a consortium that's about a small group that's concentrated on real estate in a particular area is a bad thing, but Jay is taking Black folks' money with his hustles. He talks a good game, but you got to concentrate in your own city, in your own municipality. I know you guys are in California, so real estate is pretty expensive. That's why it's very important that you all reconnect with your southern roots so that you can see some of the property that's in places that you may have grown up or your people have grown up. Definitely Louisiana is one of those places. East Texas, there's real estate to be had in places that are going to expand. My good partner, Mike Gunn, is always asking me, and I know he probably thinks I'm crazy because he's ready to drop by $500,000 in Shreveport right now. And we haven't talked yet about the real estate, but he's asked me multiple times. And then my good partner, Terrence Crump, is on here. We got a whole bunch of California folks on here. He just left. He's from Shreveport. He's out there in LA, but we grew up together in Lakeside. So I took him on a tour the other week, and Terrence was like, hey, bro, I'm about to make this bread. I'm getting ready to come buy some property in Shreveport, and that's how we about to do it. So I would caution you on Jay and a few other cats, and I would just say, learn the real estate game, learn the crypto game, specifically enroll with small groups of people, but don't get caught up in any multi-level marketing component with anybody who is talking about putting up your credit to be a part of this group. That's the worst thing. Yeah, that's the worst thing you could ever do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't do none of that. And I got family in Shreveport and Kentucky, actually.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I got family out there.
That's what's up, brother.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
Appreciate it.
Not a problem, brother. So does anyone else have a question or comment for Brother Craig before we wrap this thing up? Any other questions or comments?
As always, excellent presentation, excellent commentary. I did have a question.
Talk to me, brother Mike.
In relationship to the events that occurred or had been occurring or culminated today with the suicide bombing and the worldview we should have as African Americans. You know, they talk about 60 degrees of separation, the butterfly effect. In a sense, how should we view it, and how does it affect us, and should it even affect us? I mean, our fellow man, human beings, but I'm just talking about in terms of that type of military-industrial hegemony that's been going on for ages, but more specifically, Afghanistan.
Yeah, and you know, I'm glad you asked that question, Mike, because one would say, well, why should we give a damn about what's going on in Afghanistan? What is foreign politics to America is local politics there. What is foreign here is local there. And people don't have much to resist with. I mean, you think we are oppressed. I mean, they are seriously oppressed. and they are willing to truly lay down their lives to show the plutocrats, the architects, and the engineers of the philosophy, system, and game of capitalistic white supremacy, racism, and the factions that are put in place who look like them. They're willing to show them that they're willing to die on their square. And I look at that, any of these suicide bombings, as a wake-up call for us, because hell, all we got to do is get off our ass and vote. All we got to do is get off our ass and start a goddamn business. All we got to do is get off our ass and mobilize and organize and take care of our goddamn children. You see what I'm saying? But if you listen to the people here, you would believe that they were just as oppressed as folks in Afghanistan and other parts of the world, and it is not true.
Yep.
I can really understand why people there would take on that, I got to do it all or nothing attitude. But here, if we just mobilize, organize as an independent collective at local level in majority African-American cities, start for-profit and nonprofit corporations, put a percentage of the dollars that we make, reinvest them back into the communities, into the HBCUs and whatnot, we can take over multiple cities.
Sure.
Within the next 4 years, without even having to do a goddamn suicide bomb.
And it's wide open.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell you what. So when I look at an Afghanistan and that, and juxtapose that to what we're doing, it's like, goddamn, they willing to blow themselves up. These punk ass Negroes ain't even willing to vote. So that's why I say good people are punks. And that's why so many people come to the United States believing that it's the land of opportunity, when in all actuality, it's the land of smoke and mirrors and illusions and hypocrisy. However, if you've been over there and you come over here and you got a squad, now you're going to make it happen over here, bro.
That's right. That's right.
Because there's still opportunities to make things happen in this society. We just got to, as Brother Trayvon was talking about, him being a part of different organizations, they get into all these philosophical conversations. And Brother Trayvon, that one sister who went to Xavier, I guess she came out a few years after me, she ain't answered yet when I told her to produce resume references and receipts of any business that you got, any type of employment that you're offering for Black folks. If you don't get off my damn post talking about some idealism and telling me about Amazon when they getting ready to hire people at $15 and $20 and $30 an hour, if you don't get your ass out of my face,
yeah,
and shut up, okay? Because you can't come to me with that rhetoric when I know that if you do your research and look at Russia, when they were pushing the communism, the Stalinism, okay, that had already been failing. That had already been failing when Fred Hampton and were pushing that propaganda.
Yep.
But they didn't know any other way, because they were never, none of them were ever business owners. None of them had ever been in corporate America. So you can't tell me anything about it because my goddamn uncle started a town. C.C. Antoine founded the damn city. Okay, Black folks, you can't tell me about this because Madam C.J. Walker, Sarah Breedlove, she became a multimillionaire with a damn idea. I don't particularly care about burning sisters' hair and whatnot, but she took that idea and she became a multimillionaire. We got to stop making excuses, because what it really boils down to, the Negro has gotten so goddamn comfortable, he is afraid to compete. Our goddamn ancestors weren't afraid to compete. And that's why we started more Black townships between 1864 and 1944. Brother Trayvon, guess how many we started from 1945 to now? Well, guess what? Well, we started a few because our boy is running for one of the cities of Tamani. Our brother is running for one of the cities.
Brother Quabina?
Yeah, Quabina.
Oh, yeah.
One of the towns. So it's a few that's now started over the past few years.
Right.
But up until just a few years ago, it had been no Black townships created in this country.
That's right.
But we got more resources, more, like this don't even make any sense. But we've gotten comfortable. So now it's time to compete. Black Wall Street, they exist all over and they can exist. What Black Wall Street don't even exist in Tulsa, Oklahoma anymore. I mean, that's just a fallacy. White folks been took over that.
Yeah,
they got Oklahoma State University instead of SHOP.
For real.
The white man who helped to bomb the city, his family got a baseball stadium right in Black Wall Street.
Right. And they ain't about to give back, and they're not about to give Black people anything. So
no.
all that give us back whatever, it'll never happen.
Yeah,
So yeah. So on that note, Brother Craig, give us your closing remarks for the next show.
I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. It is beautiful to have the new folks on. I appreciate the folks coming in from California, my business partner, Francis, and let's just continue to work together. I'll be keeping you guys updated on the HBCU Preservation Challenge. And bruh, when we pull that off, bruh, I'm gonna be jigging, okay? We're gonna be popping bottles and tops and whatnot, you hear me? And we're gonna show how grassroots people can party, come together, and rock and roll. And I give anybody, last thing, I give anybody, I'll cash app you. If Craig Lee is netting $500 million a year, and nobody from the Black Gold Nation can answer this question, but if Craig Lee is netting $500, not grossing, but netting $500 million a year, how much money would I reinvest into the Black community in terms of more businesses, schools, grants, all of those things? How much do you think I would reinvest? Whoever gets it right, I'll give you $10. I'm a cash app. Anybody.
You're gonna invest all of it back in.
No, not all of it. Hell, not all of it.
1.5 million.
50% of it.
30. I said 30%.
50.
1.5.
Okay, Terrence said 30%. What you say, Devotion?
I said percent of it.
How much?
50% of it. Half of it.
That's a good guess. Who else? Okay, y'all are wrong. And the closest person was Naru, but he don't get the money because I damn sure wouldn't invest all of it. It would be 80%.
Oh,
What was
wow. How much he makes? 500. Oh, wait a minute. My mouth. I got to see if I got my.
400 million.
Tell him why. Tell him why, Craig.
That's 400 million. Because if I can't make it on $100 million,
that's right.
I need to kill my goddamn self.
All right.
I need to commit suicide quick.
You right though, for real.
Okay, I wouldn't give it all, but if I can't make it on $100 million, so the reason I say that is because capitalists just stock up on that money. So who do you think is going to be willing to give those kind of dollars, reinvest them back into the Black community? A capitalist or a corporate grassroots revolutionary?
I'm going with the latter.
That is what I leave you with. Do you want to be a corporate grassroots revolutionary, leverage resources to reinvest into programs, projects, and businesses that help liberate, empower, and advance our people? Or do you just want to sit up and goddamn complain and ask the goddamn evil people, well, y'all need to give us back the land, give us our money? It ain't gonna happen, y'all. So you got to make a decision as to how you're gonna play this game. Okay, I'll leave you with that.
Amen. And on that note, always remember two things. No one can do everything, but if everyone does something, everything will get done. And absolutely, always remember that nothing is more sacred than the liberation, the empowerment, the salvation, and the freedom of Black people. Because if Black people don't make it, none of us are going to make it, because we are all Black people. So with that, thank you guys very much. This show is supposed to be an hour, but this is our 50th episode, and we long-winded because we Black. But we thank y'all for hanging on. We appreciate it. So come back next Thursday, and that show will be an hour. And also, if you are free this coming Saturday, we have our, I think, 23rd movie review episode. We're reviewing the movie Fences. Every other Saturday, we have a movie review because we're trying to educate Black people, because we love Black folks, because we ain't got no sense. So with that, y'all have a wonderful evening. God bless. Thank you very much for being here, and hopefully we'll see you guys next Thursday. Have a good one.
Take care. Have a good evening.
Peace.
All right.
All right, y'all.
Oh, Brother Craig, I forgot to tell you, Brother Ted is the brother in Houston who just joined, who's from Shreveport.
Brother Ted.
Yeah, he's
Yes, sir.
Well, hold on, Brother Ted. Where you? What in Shreveport, brother?
Well, I come out of Shreveport, man, but I was only there for the first 5 years.
Okay, where you at now?
I'm in Houston. I'm right out here with Tamani right now.
Okay, who are your people here?
Graham Anderson, and Fuller.
Man, I know you're not gonna tell me Mr. Graham from Graham Barbershop.
Yes, that's one of my cousins.
Man, that's where I get my damn haircut at, brother.
Small
Well,
world.
it's a bunch of Grahams out there, man, but he is the barber.
Bunch of them, 53 years, brother. I've been getting my hair cut at Sir Graham's Barbershop on Milam Street.
That's it, bro.
Well, amen. We all cousins. I gotta go eat dinner. Y'all have
All
a
right.
good one. Bye-bye.